Welcome, fellow nerds, to this episode of Nerd Shit, hosted by Lord Brad Brad and Riorik, where we discuss all things nerd. Whether it's anime, movies, comic books, video games, Magic the Gathering, or Dungeons & Dragons. If it's nerd, we talk about it. So pull up your favorite chair, pour a glass of mead, and get ready to come and discuss everything nerd shit. Hey, welcome back to the show, guys. I am a little bit under the weather with like allergies and stuff at the moment, so I'm not going to sound too great, but I'm here. I've had a long week, but I'm here.
See, and I'm glad that, not happy that you're feeling under the weather, but I'm glad to hear that somebody else is feeling under the weather and not me, because for the first time in 2 months, I'm feeling good.
Yeah, this rain has brought all of the allergies straight to my face.
Welcome to Texas, and that's why I take allergy meds every day.
It doesn't help, because I'm outside 8 hours a day.
Well, then you need to double up.
Yeah, probably.
Take like a Claritin in the morning and a Zazol at night, so that they combine their effect, and then they're both 24 hours.
Maybe.
So you should look into that, because when I was having big problems, that's what they told me to do, and it helped.
Okay.
But yeah, allergies suck, but that's not what this show's about.
No, but it's an excuse.
Yeah.
A valid one.
It is a valid excuse. As someone who deals with that too, it's a very valid excuse. I'll give you that. But what is today's show about?
We saw the new Marvel movie,
Guardians of the Galaxy 3.
There you go. And then we went to a little mini convention.
Collecticon.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, I'm letting you talk too while I'm doing this. It's the YouTuber type thing. Yeah, I know you probably don't understand it.
No, I don't pay attention to YouTube.
You don't, I do.
So I struggle. YouTube videos are a lot like audiobooks to me.
Yes.
They're hard for me to maintain focus for.
I watch them whenever a new One Piece chapter comes out.
I know you do, and you can sit there, and I know other people that can sit there and just watch those things endlessly.
Oh, I have it while I walk. It's like a little audiobook for me as I go on. I already know what happened, but I like hearing their thoughts and other people's thoughts as I do it.
But I can't do it. If I try and listen to an audiobook, I'm not engaging my hands or my eyes, so I get distracted, and then I start doing something, like I'll start coding, I'll start playing a game, I'll start doing something that gets my hands moving, and I tune out the audio, and I lose track of it, because I have to be moving. I can't just sit there and listen.
See, I'm walking loops, and the only thing that's keeping me focused and not bored out of my mind is just listening, because I'm just doing the same thing every day.
But I'd be looking at the mail and figuring out what goes where. I'd be paying attention to what I was physically doing, and I would tune out the audio.
Once you've done it for like a week, it's just repetition, so your brain just turns off. You look at it, 1420, you know exactly each house and each number. It's very repetitive.
I've not had a job like that, so I wouldn't know.
You tune out very quickly.
Okay. Well, with where I'm at now, that doesn't work for me. I have tried so many times to do audiobooks, and I just cannot pay attention to them.
No, you tune out pretty quickly here.
Okay. Again, that's beside the point.
So, what do you want to talk about first?
Well, let's start with Guardians.
Okay. Quick tidbit. They drop an F-bomb. So glad they did.
The first F-bomb in a Marvel movie.
PG-13.
Uh-huh. Well, that's true. Deadpool drops a lot of cuss words, but Deadpool is rated R.
Because you're allowed to drop one, and I swear to God, Chris Pratt was probably like, no, we're allowed one. Keep the line.
Yeah, but it was the first one in the main, I guess you could call it, Marvel Avengers type series. It's not one of the offshoots like Deadpool or anything like that.
Yeah.
So that was pretty
funny.
When they first did it, I'll admit, I was like, woo!
Yeah.
I was not prepared for that.
I just wanted to drop that part off, because to me that was like one of the funniest parts.
It was, and the scene in which they do it was classic Guardians.
Yes. Anyways, more about the movie is it has the charm of a Guardians of the Galaxy movie. I think it does.
It does, but at the same time, it doesn't to me.
It's because it's missing our Gamora. It has a new Gamora.
No, mine had to do with Star-Lord. He was Star-Lord, but he wasn't Star-Lord to me.
He was sad Star-Lord.
He was sad, mopey Star-Lord.
That's the difference.
But even when he fought, he did not fight with all the same panache as Star-Lord from, Guardians 1 or Guardians 2.
Because he was sad.
Well,
He'll return.
he didn't have his mask, and he wasn't using his jet boots. And I'm like, dude, that would have just saved so much of the plot.
You're right.
It
The jet
would've
boots would have.
Yeah, and maybe that's why they didn't have him use them, because they wanted to deploy these other aspects of the plot, and they knew that would ruin it. But after having it for 2 movies, it's kind of become a part of his character. So where is it? I mean, they didn't even acknowledge it. They didn't reference it. Nothing.
Yeah.
I mean, that would be like if Groot showed up and didn't extend his limbs, or Rocket wasn't trying to steal somebody's arm or eye.
Yeah. He didn't really steal anything in this one. Well, as a kid, they had flashbacks. It's sad.
Yeah.
There's flashbacks in it with Rocket, so you finally get to learn about him. He steals stuff then, and you see him stealing a bunch of small things, and nobody bats an eye. So they don't really notice.
No.
So Rocket, as a kid, is the same as he is now, pretty much.
Pretty much.
Only more cynical.
Now, I will say that when we first saw the Guardians trailer a couple of months ago, we talked about it on one of our first episodes for this season.
Yeah.
And our predictions for the movie were both wrong.
I was sort of right.
Well, okay, you were kind of right.
I was right.
But a lot of our predictions were wrong. There were some aspects of it that were correct, but we were mostly wrong.
You were right.
So I was dead wrong.
I'm never wrong, just a little off. That's what I tell my wife.
You are a lot off. I've lived with you for way too many years. I was kind of pleasantly surprised that the predictions were wrong and that things went a different path.
Yes.
I'm not necessarily happy with the doors that were left.
Yes.
I mean, this was meant to be a trilogy. They've always said from the beginning Guardians was going to be a trilogy. Mm-hmm. Well, this was the end of that trilogy. They tied a lot of stuff up in the main storylines with nice little bows, but then they just had these strings hanging off these bows that they could just easily pull it and untie the bow and do something different. Mm-hmm. Well, then it's not really a trilogy.
Yeah. This may have a little spoilers, but we're probably going to get some spin-offs of the new Guardians of the Galaxy on Disney+. Maybe.
They've not announced anything.
They might.
But, with phases 5 and 6 and the new Avengers and all of that stuff, I guess they're leaving the door open in case they need to pull some of these fan favorites forward to help, draw audiences. Because we've seen it in the past when they've kind of branched off into some of these lesser known heroes that they don't have the same draw, because people don't know them. It's a Marvel show or it's a Marvel movie, but who the hell is it? So they have to bring people over to help carry the shows.
Yeah.
And maybe that's what this is all about.
Maybe.
I don't know. But Chris Pratt did an interview not long before the opening day for this show, and he was talking about the sense of finality, that it feels final. I didn't feel that it was final.
I'm with you there, because they did say Star-Lord will be back, but probably not for Guardians of the Galaxy.
And it may not be the same Star-Lord.
Yeah.
Because I don't know that Chris Pratt is under contract for any other films for Marvel. Mm-hmm. And there was a recent report that James Gunn is trying to, I don't know if recruit is the right word, or suggest, to what level of degree, I don't know. But James Gunn was apparently quoted as saying Chris Pratt would make a good new Batman for his DC universe that he's building.
Yes.
Well, if he's under contract with Marvel, he can't do DC Batman. Mm-hmm. So where does that leave him?
Yeah.
I mean, it was good. I'll say that the background of Rocket was interesting. So we have background of Rocket, we have background of Star-Lord, we have background for Gamora and her sister.
We knew Drax's. They told.
Yeah, Drax's background has been.
Yeah, it's just his character.
Yeah, Groot. We still don't know jack crap about Groot other than he's freaking awesome.
Yeah, he's from a planet of trees. He only knows like 4 words. Wait.
He's up to more than 4 now. He's up to
7.
like 7.
Yeah.
But yeah, we don't really know a whole lot about his people, where they stand. Is he the last of his kind?
I don't think so in the comic, but in their world, no idea.
Yeah, we don't know anything about him. He's there with Rocket in the first one, and he just hangs around, but he does some awesome stuff.
Yep.
They really played up Drax's, I don't want to necessarily say stupidity, but I'm having trouble finding a better word to describe it. Impulsiveness.
I think he just takes impulse and he takes everything literally. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, they really played it up hard for this one. I mean, sometimes in the other ones it was there and it was kind of a comical thing, but it just seemed to be more up front in this one. I don't know.
Yeah. I think he knew it was his last movie, so he didn't really care. He wanted to be funny, and he was like, "Nah, I just want to go out with laughing. I want my character to be remember that he was a good character and had fun." And I think that may have been what it was.
He was a good character, but I didn't necessarily find him fun in this one. I found him dumb.
Yeah.
I mean, he was dumb in the second one when he's like, "Oh, the skin's too thick to pierce from the outside. I'm gonna jump in this monster's throat and do it from the inside."
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that was kind of dumb, but it was Drax level dumb, and it was kind of funny the way it was done, especially Gamora's response to it.
Mm-hmm.
But this one, I don't know, it just didn't seem like it played the same. It was a little more off-putting to me in this one.
Yeah.
Because I think it was just because it was so constant.
Yeah, he didn't really have any like serious moments.
No.
At all.
I mean, there were some fight scenes where he was just whooping some ass.
That was cool.
And that was cool. I mean, he's Drax the Destroyer. Let him fucking destroy something.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, his character didn't seem, I guess you could say, relevant. You know, there wasn't a lot of plot for him.
Mm-hmm.
Other than just being retarded.
I like the exploration more than like Mantis's character. She's a lot more fun.
Yeah, it was kind of nice to see more Mantis, and she ended up actually being kind of badass.
Mm-hmm.
So that was neat. You know, she talked about her background a little bit and things like that. So that was cool.
I like how they explain that she is Star-Lord's sister, because I didn't really get that in the second one.
Yeah.
They didn't really explain that she was also his other kid.
Yeah, they didn't really explain her background other than that she served Ego.
Yeah.
So it was kind of nice for them to acknowledge her connection.
Sorry, that's sort of a spoiler, sort of not, but like,
yeah,
now you know. It makes sense now in movie 2.
A little bit. And there were some comments made to me by Mike when we were at the theater. He was not a fan of the new ship that they have.
Yes.
And I have to agree, it just didn't have the same charisma as the Milano.
Yeah, I'm with you there.
I mean, it had some interesting features and it allowed them to do stuff that worked for the plot, but if I'm writing the plot, I can make things fit however I want.
Yeah.
So, but
I like how Nowhere is now a giant ship.
that was funny. That was pretty good.
I like that a lot because I want to see that more.
Yeah. So there were some really cool things to it, and they really took components from the first couple of movies and intertwined them well so that it felt like a consistent part of the story. Like I said, I didn't like how they got rid of Star-Lord's costume, basically. I mean, that he didn't look like Star-Lord.
Yeah, I see that. I didn't notice it until you mentioned it. I was like, yeah, you're right. He was missing a lot.
He walked out in that first scene, and I went, what the hell is that? That's not his outfit. I mean, it'd be like Iron Man showing up to fight in a tuxedo. That's not Iron Man.
Yeah.
'Cause, I mean, without his outfit, without his mask, without his rocket boots, you know, that you're taking away half of his character's abilities.
Yeah, because the only thing he has in this one is he shoots.
His blasters.
Yeah, he shoots and he does mediocre brain power, but it works for him.
Yeah.
He's lucky.
Yeah. So I just really felt like they took away from him in that regard. But it's still a good movie. I'm still looking forward to it hitting streaming so I can watch it again.
Mm-hmm.
It's not one that I'm, oh man, we need to go to the theater and watch it again. I'm never one of those people that want to go to the theater and watch things multiple times unless it's like John Wick.
Yeah.
I'll watch John Wick every day of the week. I liked Guardians, but it's not like, oh wow, I've got to see it again.
Yeah.
So what's next up? Next up, we've got The Flash and Into the Spider-Verse, or Across the Spider-Verse in June.
Well, there's one more thing we need to talk about for Guardians of the Galaxy. It's the biggest part of it, the music.
Okay, so there's been a steady progression, 70s and 80s through movies 1 and 2. So now in 3, we're into the 90s. I am a child. Well, I was born in the 70s. I listened to a lot of the 80s music, so the soundtracks from 1 and 2 were very familiar to me. But at the same time, I listened to a lot of music in the 90s, so I knew the songs from the soundtrack, but I didn't care for them.
I'm a big 90s music person, and the only one I cared for was the Beastie Boys when they played it.
Love it.
And the other ones, I was like, that's a weird choice.
Yeah, some of the music choices did seem a little out of place. I don't know. They just didn't seem to have the same vibe, the same pop as the first ones. Mm-hmm. You know, you can go and sit down and turn on soundtrack for Volume 1 and Volume 2, and you can just listen to them and just let them play, and they're full of great music. This one, I would find myself skipping the majority of the songs.
Mm-hmm. And I guess that just has to do with the movie being more depressing? Maybe.
Because, yeah, I mean, it was a fun movie, and it had a lot of lightheartedness and comedy, but it was a very sad and depressing plot in terms of Guardians 1 and 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess that is a shift in tone that requires a shift in tone for the music. But in a franchise that's known for its music, I feel this music was a letdown.
Yeah.
Other people may love a lot of those songs. They may love it. It's just those songs I didn't care for.
Yeah, that's one of the big things about the Guardians we couldn't pass up on.
Yeah, that's true.
We probably would have gotten comments like, what about the music?
Yeah, well, and that's just it. We almost forgot about it because the music was forgettable in this one. Mm-hmm. Now, if you're a fan of all those songs, don't come hating at us because we don't like them, because I'm sure there's a lot of music that we like that you're going to hate too. But for us, the music was a miss.
Yeah.
Well, let's move on.
All right.
I don't want to beat up on Guardians. I like Guardians.
No, you're good.
So what else was there? Our convention.
Yes.
So why don't you take us there?
How do I start that off? We drove an hour to Dallas.
Well, let's back up.
That's me taking us there.
So about a month ago, maybe.
Yeah.
Scrolling through Facebook, I found something on Facebook about something called Collecticon coming to Fort Worth that was going to have Amy Jo Johnson from the Power Rangers there.
Yes.
We've been told that Amy Jo Johnson does not tour as regularly as a lot of the other Power Rangers.
Probably because she's Canadian.
That's correct.
Now, she wasn't born in Canada. She's just a Canadian citizen.
Yeah, she lives in Canada now.
Yeah.
But that she doesn't do signings as often as some of those other ones. Mm-hmm. So with her being here in Fort Worth as something of a rarity, I sent that to you in case you were interested in getting the Sailor Moon Monopoly box signed that we've already had signed by JDF and Johnny Young Bosch.
Yes.
Because not only was Amy Jo Johnson going to be there, but also the Blue Ranger, David Yost.
Yes.
So I sent that to you. You looked into it, and you found what?
That Chuck Norris was also going to be there.
Motherfucking Chuck Norris.
Chuck Norris. A few other anime people. The Ash Ketchum was there. And the 4Kids dub actress for Luffy. So if you don't know what the 4Kids dub is, it's not great, but it's a fun watch because it's bad. But it's 4Kids. Remember that.
Is this kind of like Dragon Ball Abridged?
No.
Where they take the original series and they recut it and redub it for kids?
Pretty much. Abridged is not for kids, though.
Well, I know, but I'm just saying, I mean, they take the original thing and they recut and redub.
Yeah, so they also did stuff for, like, Yu-Gi-Oh!, and there was guns in Yu-Gi-Oh!, but they erased the guns, and now you just see people with their fingers shaped like guns. There's also Sanji's from Brooklyn, pretty much. He doesn't have his cigarette. He has a lollipop that when he takes it out of his mouth, somehow the sucker's on the other end now, so it stays in his mouth, but the moment it comes out, it's facing the audience. So, like, how does he do that? One kid was held at gunpoint, then they erased it and put like a self-punching gun thing. When you pulled the trigger, it would punch him, but like, why wouldn't he just punch him?
That's weird.
Yeah, it's weird. It was silly. It's very it takes a goofy pirate story and makes it into an even goofier pirate story.
Sounds like it.
Yes, but for kids.
Yeah. So once we saw that all those people were there, you decided you wanted to go.
Yeah.
But you didn't want to go alone.
Yeah.
So you asked me to go with you.
Yeah.
And we ended up going.
Yes.
So we learned a very valuable lesson on that first day.
Very valuable lesson. Always buy a VIP pass if you can.
Yes.
If you do not, you are very likely not to get
as many signatures, if any.
Yeah. Especially if you're there for like one person and that person's the biggest hit, you might not get their signature at all.
Well, so let's put that in a little bit of context.
Oh.
So the show started at 10 a.m.
Yes.
So doors open at 10. We bought our tickets a couple of days before the show opened.
Mm-hmm.
The VIP passes were already sold out, so all we could get were general admission passes.
Mm-hmm.
We drive up to Fort Worth. We arrive at 9:30 in the morning, because, it's just a little small convention. There's going to be just a handful of people signing, okay, no big deal. We get there at 9:30 in the morning. There is a line that's probably a quarter of a mile long waiting to get into the event area.
Mm-hmm.
It takes us nearly 45 minutes to snake our way through that line to get into the check-in area so that they can scan our tickets and give us our passes.
Yes.
Then we have to go into the exhibition hall where everything is set up. So the doors opened at 10. It's almost 11 before we get inside the exhibition hall.
Mm-hmm.
And there's no signs or anything that's directing you to where the autograph tables are.
Mm-hmm.
So we have to go figure out where they are on our own. We go to the right.
They were to the left.
They were to the left. So by the time we figured out where they were signing autographs, it was now after 11. The doors had been open for an hour. Amy Jo Johnson's line was damn near third of the way across the exhibition hall.
Mm-hmm.
We go get in her line, and we stand in her line for a while before we see that there's a sign next to her banner says cash only.
And she is the only one with that sign.
Yeah, the only one that says cash only. Well, we did not have cash.
No.
So you went to go get cash out of the ATM while I stayed in line. I did not move.
Yeah.
We stood in that line for close to an hour and barely made any progress forward because the VIPs, they were doing like 2 or 3 VIP individuals for one general admission person. Mm-hmm. And the VIP people, several of them had rolling carts, wagons, totes, things with multiple things to be signed. So they were taking an exceedingly long time for one VIP person to get signed because they'd have them sign 10, 12 things.
Yeah.
And then take a picture.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're doing 2 or 3 VIPs for every one general admission person and every VIP is doing 10, 12 signatures, it takes freaking forever.
It does.
So we abandoned Amy Jo Johnson's line and we got in line with David Yost. He did not have as long of a line as Amy Jo Johnson.
The first day. So we were able to eventually get to his line. But by the time he signed, because we only had him sign, 2 things? 3 things? It was like 3 o'clock.
Yeah, we had spent the majority of no, it wasn't 3 o'clock. It was 12 o'clock.
12 o'clock? Okay.
It was 12 o'clock by the time we got David Yost to sign things. Because after that, we kind of roamed around for a few minutes.
Oh, and then we waited in line again.
Yeah, because you bought your Yuffie figurine. And we made the decision. You were going to go stand in line for Yuffie, and I was going to go stand in line... Luffy. Yeah, not Yuffie. Luffy. I'm thinking Final Fantasy. So you're going to go stand in line for Luffy, and I'm going to go stand in line for Chuck Norris. Mm-hmm. Now, we go to these lines at the same time. You make it all the way through your line and get your figurine signed, and I'm maybe halfway from where I started to where Chuck Norris is. Mm-hmm. Chuck Norris had a huge line, and it was moving kind of slow. Some of the lines were just straight lines.
Yeah. But
some of the lines, like Chuck Norris and Amy Jo Johnson, once you got to a certain point, they kind of zigzagged back and across.
Yeah, they made a little snake line in
there. So it may not have been as deep, but it was pretty long. We waited until we were the 3rd or 4th person from the front, and all the celebrities left. They took a lunch break for like 30 minutes. Mm-hmm. Tone Loc came out on stage and did a small little concert of 4 or 5 songs. So we got to listen to Funky Cold Medina, Wild Thing, things like that.
Felt terrible. Honestly, for someone, I didn't like it.
It wasn't a great audio setup.
Yeah, I think that's probably what it was.
For a concert, first of all. B, where we were off to
The side
of the stage, almost behind the stage, really, because the
Yeah.
stage kind of extended out. We couldn't see anything. The speakers weren't facing anywhere near us.
We were pretty much getting the echo.
Yeah, so we were just in a bad spot, but we couldn't walk away from our spot in line.
Yeah.
Or we'd have to start over. So enjoy a Tone Loc concert or be number 4 in line for Chuck Norris. To hell with Tone Loc.
Yeah.
So that was interesting. He didn't make any references to Ace Ventura or anything like that, which was kind of a letdown. Nothing about Ford Fairlane, none of the movies he's been in. So I was kind of disappointed. But he did get a bunch of white girls up on stage to dance with him, which was kind of funny. Because he did. He called for girls to get up on the stage and dance, and it was nothing but white girls.
Yep. He was trying to catch charges.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to say this, and I'm not going to say this, so don't get mad, but this was a very white convention. I did not see a lot of people that weren't white there.
Oh, if you looked at anything that was going toward the Yu-Gi-Oh lines, they were Hispanic.
Were they?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, there was that black guy that was dressed up as Luffy. Yeah, he was pretty cool. So, I mean, it wasn't that other races weren't represented there. It was just so predominantly white male nerds.
Yes.
Oh my God, there were so many white male nerds there. I mean, there were some girls that were there and they were dressed up. That one girl with the Umbreon costume that we saw the first day.
A couple of Misties.
2 slutty Misties.
Yes.
One real slutty Misty.
Yes.
So I mean, there were people of different races and different sexes there, but it was predominantly white males.
Big Mexican dude in the dark magician outfit.
Oh yeah, that was pretty funny.
Yeah, it's how I know. If you check the Yu-Gi-Oh lines, it was Hispanic people. I promise you.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's not that they weren't there. It's just most of the people you saw were white, and most of them were dudes.
Most of them were dudes. Yeah, I'll give you that.
So that's really all I was trying to point out.
Yeah.
So anyway,
what did we do after Chuck Norris?
We left.
Yeah, because it got really busy right after that.
Yeah. Well, so Chuck left for his lunch break at around 1. I want to say it was around 1.
I want to say it was closer to 2.
Maybe it was 1:30.
It was 1:45 because he came back at 2:15 because the person next to him wasn't coming back until 2:30.
That's right. I forgot about that. Yeah. So I waited in line for Chuck for nearly 2 hours, and then he left to go on lunch. That's right. Yeah. So then he came back. We got him to sign our Power Rangers Monopoly box.
Yes.
Because Chuck Norris is the rangerest of rangers.
He's the Texas Ranger.
And he was also Lone Wolf McQuaid, who was also a ranger.
He was the Texas Ranger.
Yeah, Walker, Texas Ranger. So he is the rangerest of rangers. And then I got him to sign a magic card called You Are Already Dead. Because if I tell somebody Chuck Norris is coming for you now, that means you are already dead.
Yes.
And they didn't bat an eye when we gave them those things.
No.
Because I walked up and the guy asked me what we were doing. And I said, I'm going to have 2 unusual signatures and a photograph. And the guy goes, did you say unusual? I said, yes. So I slid the things across the table for him to see. And I said, to see, he's going to sign a Sailor Moon Monopoly and a magic card. I bet those are 2 things not a lot of people have asked him to sign. No. They were unusual, all right. But when I explained why we wanted him to sign those, the guy just thought it was funny, cracked up. But Chuck was expensive compared to everybody else.
Yes.
He was the most expensive signature there because it was $100 for an autograph, $100 for a picture, $130 for premium autographs where you have them sign like movie props, Funko Pops, or in our case, a Monopoly box signed by multiple other celebrities. So we spent a lot of money for Chuck, but it was so worth it.
And that was just day 1.
Yeah, that was day 1. So yeah, by the time we got done with Chuck, it was after 3 o'clock. So we'd been there. We'd arrived at 9:30. It was after 3 o'clock. So we were there over 6 hours, and we had managed to get 2 signatures. 3 signatures.
Yeah, 3 signatures.
I mean, that was rough.
Yeah, and the ground standing on it, it really sucked.
Well, it was in a convention area of a hotel, so it was basically just concrete flooring.
Yeah.
So you're standing around on hard concrete all day. But we did spend a little bit of time when we walked around and we looked at the vendor booths and stuff. We saw somebody that actually had an original old school Black Lotus they were trying to sell for $9,000.
Yeah.
we did not buy that.
I tried.
They weren't going to negotiate on the price to where we felt comfortable for it.
Oh, I meant like I tried to get you to do it.
Yeah, you tried to get me to do it, but no. I do not want to face the wrath of your mother if I come home and tell her I spent $9,000 on a Magic card.
Really funny is if maybe I could have gotten away with it on a credit card, but I didn't want to pay that off for the next 10 years.
Oh, God, no. Could you imagine?
I'd ruin my...
Yeah, your
I'd
interest
ruin
would
it.
eat you alive on that. But I mean, there were a lot of neat vendors there. I mean, people selling old comic books, old game cards, old sports cards, pictures, posters, game sleeves, lightsabers. There were some new TCG games like Allegiance and something else.
MetaZoo.
No, there was another one. So, but they had different TCG games that were there. You know, some of them were Kickstarter projects that were starting to reach their production phases and things like that. So they were just trying to promote. You know, lots of places selling Funkos.
Yeah, and I'm not a big Funko person.
All kinds of neat things to check out at the vendors at least.
Yeah. So if anyone's gonna ever get me a Funko, you better already give it to me signed by the person. Because if you don't, I'm not gonna give it. I'm not gonna care.
I'm going to give you a Funko so that you can go get it signed.
Yeah, maybe.
Because if you give me something that's already signed, you've deprived me of going to meet that person.
I would never buy a Funko, though. Even if I wanted to get it signed, because we were there. I could have bought Funkos to get signed, but I didn't. I wanted the cooler-looking Luffy because he looks cooler.
Yeah.
But I'm not a big Funko person. Because the main reason people get them is so they could sign the box and never open them. I like opening my stuff. I want my stuff on full display.
That's true.
Like, that Luffy figure I got them to sign the box of, I have that box sitting behind him and his out in front of it. And then I got the character that was like they're like a set little thing together. I have them sitting beside each other with the boxes behind them.
Yeah.
Because I want it out.
I don't blame you. So, but we left after that because, I mean, we were both, our backs were hurting, our feet were hurting.
We were hungry.
And we were starving.
We didn't eat breakfast.
No, we were in a hurry. No, we ate.
No, we didn't.
No, that's right. So we went to go get something that morning from a place in town that's normally open by 8. We showed up at 8:30 and they told us they weren't opening until 9.
Mm-hmm.
So we just left. So,
Yeah.
But we learned that day,
Show up early.
show up early. Even without a VIP pass, show up early.
Because we also learned they let the VIPs in a little over an hour early.
Well, we didn't learn that until the next day.
Yeah, but we're getting to the next day, so we're letting you know. They also let the VIPs and like the vendors, the people that go in to get to sell stuff, they'll go get their signatures first so they can sell it at their booths.
Yeah.
So that's another thing. They let those people in an hour early.
Yeah. So fast forward to Sunday. We left the house at what time Sunday?
7-ish? 7:30-ish?
I think we left close to 7.
Yeah, it was pretty early.
Yeah, because we were there by 8:30.
Yeah.
You know, and it's almost an hour and a half from our house to where the convention center was.
And we were real close to the door, too.
Yeah, we were spitting distance from the door.
And then that's when we learned they let the VIPs in early.
Mm-hmm.
And then once they let us through the door, they let you in to go check in, get your wristbands and all that. And then they had a line to start going in once the doors officially opened.
Well, so let's back up. They didn't do that on Saturday.
I didn't know about that.
But they did do that on Sunday because Sunday was supposed to storm. Because remember, Saturday, the big storm blew through and we were getting hail and everything Saturday night.
I was thinking maybe Saturday they did do that. I don't know. Because like we couldn't see the front of the door, so maybe they did do it. That's why I was thinking.
And it's entirely possible, but I don't think they did.
No, but Sunday was supposed to rain, so they let them in. You can get your ticket scanned, get your wristbands, and start another line at the door.
Yeah.
We were probably within the first 10 people at the door at that point.
Yeah, we were really, really freaking close to the door.
Yeah.
But then when it came time for them to open the doors, they didn't hold to the line. It was just everybody was a mad dash for the doors.
Yeah.
It turned into complete chaos.
And I won.
Yep. Yeah, so we still managed to get through the doors pretty quickly, but knowing where the autograph lines were and how fast Amy Jo Johnson stacks up, because when we left at day 1, her line was more than halfway across that hall.
It was pretty much probably at the end of the room by that time.
Yeah, and this was a pretty large area. I don't even want to estimate how long of a distance it was.
It was massive.
I mean, it's big. It was big, and her line took up a long part of that.
Yeah.
So you ran.
Yes, I bolted. I didn't care how sad, how desperate it made me feel. I was not waiting in a line for longer than 2 hours again.
No, I can't run like that anymore.
Yeah.
So I just kind of, waddled over and took my place. And you were pretty close to the front of the line, but VIPs got in first, so there were still VIPs in line. The vendors got in line, so there were vendors in front of us. But you were the first person that was not a vendor or a VIP person.
For Amy Jo Johnson.
For Amy Jo
That's
Johnson
correct.
that morning.
I made sure of it.
And once we got in line, we waited, 20 minutes?
If that, yeah.
Yeah. So luckily we didn't have a long wait that day. That was pretty cool. But when we got up there, what happened?
We learned about something that happened like the night or the morning of.
The day before,
yeah.
there was a shooting in Allen, Texas, which wasn't very far from where we were.
No.
I mean, it was further north, but it wasn't like, 5 minutes away. It was more 20, 30 minutes away. But there was an outdoor mall, so people were all out there shopping, doing their thing, running from store to store. And this guy just drove up in his car, hopped out of the door wearing full tactical gear and a semi-automatic rifle, and just started shooting people walking from around the stores. I want to say 11, 12 people killed.
I didn't know because I don't have like social media and I don't have like TV, so I don't really look anything up.
Well,
to me, when I first heard this, I was like, man, the FBI really be trying nowadays. That's what I heard.
No, so they told us about that, but your mom came home that night and actually had video of it. Some guy's dash cam, he was pulling through the parking lot, caught it on his dash cam.
Wow.
So you can actually watch the guy jump out of his car. It's from a distance, and the dash cam video isn't super high res, so you can't really get a sense of what he's wearing. But from the police reports that followed, the dude was wearing full tactical gear with pistols, multiple magazines. He had extra guns in the car. I can't even remember how many guns they counted that he had on his person and in his car.
Yeah, that's what hearing that made me sound like, man, the FBI really trying nowadays. They send in people.
But the guy just hops out of his car, just starts shooting people,
God,
just
terrible.
mowing them down.
Terrible.
And then jumps in the car, tries to leave. But there was like a cop that was there. I don't remember if he was an on-duty cop, an off-duty cop. I think it was an off-duty cop or something like that. So they ended up confronting the guy, and I want to say they shot and killed him.
Good.
Yeah, it's absolutely good. But that all happened Saturday afternoon while we were at the convention. But news got back to Amy Jo Johnson and her team, and they were a little rattled by it. But then there was something that came after that.
Yeah, apparently someone else threatened to come to the convention and shoot it up at like 3
o'clock
p.m.
in the afternoon. Yeah.
I'm like, I'm going to get them all. I'm going to shoot you all. I'm going to be there.
You're all dead.
Yeah, you're
I think
all
was
dead.
with the quote.
Yeah. So she was almost not showing up at all that day.
Yeah, they admitted that there had been some conversation about not even coming on Sunday after that threat had been made public. But they had caught the guy that had made the threat, so they came, but there was still some apprehensiveness to their appearance.
Yes.
And then somebody opened their mouth.
Yeah, the person right before us talked about how there was pretty much no security checkpoints. They didn't check your bag. They didn't. They didn't wand anybody. They didn't. We just ran right in.
Yep.
That's when we talk about how no one followed the line. I mean, they had a line to get in, and the moment those doors opened, people ran straight. If they were straight in front of the door, they ran to the door because the line kind of curved around. So there was no line.
It went from an organized line to a mass
to a Black Friday.
Yeah, it was a Black Friday rush basically. Yeah. There were security guards there, staff security.
Yeah.
But they were just kind of standing at the door. Make sure you show us your pass. Raise your arm so we can see that you've got your wristbands. Yeah. That was the extent of their security.
Yeah, and you could see the look in her face of, oh hell no, I gotta get out of here probably.
Yeah, there was a look of terror almost
Mm-hmm.
at the fact that there was so little security around the event, especially given the threat that was made
Yes.
the day prior. So that was interesting. But she was still really nice.
Yes.
She wasn't all doom and gloom. They just
Yeah.
were, that's kind of concerning. That's, that's not cool. That's not good. But, we're going to make the best of this situation. So she signed all of our stuff. You talked to her about the manual.
Yeah, took a picture.
Yeah, and she was super cool, super sweet. Oh, that's so nice that your friend went into law enforcement because of this. So she was still very much trying to connect with the people that were there and doing what she could. But after we got her stuff, she signed comics, she signed our Sailor Moon Monopoly, she signed her poster for the manual. Mm-hmm. She took you took a picture with her since I got my picture with Chuck, and then we moved over to Johnny Young Bosch's line. Because even though he had already signed Sailor Moon Monopoly a year before, I still needed him to sign my comic.
Yeah, you needed something signed. Yeah. Now that you finally watched his shows.
Yeah, now that I've watched some of his older stuff, I just didn't realize he had the newer stuff.
Yeah.
So, well, I didn't realize he was the one that voiced all the older stuff too. Because I watched them, but I never really paid attention to who voiced them.
You're like, you voiced the main character in Akira? What?
Yeah. You were Vash?
Yeah.
So I had to go back over there and get some more stuff from him, and that's when all hell broke loose.
Yeah, nothing bad happened, just some idiots screaming for no reason other than
bloody murder.
Yeah, other than it's anime. That's all you do is scream in anime.
But it wasn't necessarily that they were screaming, it was how they were screaming and what they were screaming.
Yeah, and that's just what we know. That we were told they were screaming because it was an anime thing. They could have been screaming because they won a rare card in something and they were freaking out.
They were screaming, please, no, put it down. They were screaming like they were being attacked.
I swear what it was a couple idiots playing around, or they were trying to steal something from one of the booths or something and getting kicked out.
Maybe, I don't know.
Those are my two things, but we were told it was them doing an anime thing, and we're like, you retards.
Yeah, and within 5 minutes of that screaming, Amy Jo Johnson was gone. Her line had been completely shut down. Her table was closed.
Yep, she was pretty much, I'm going home.
And that was within just a few minutes. Probably less than half an hour after we got our signatures and talked with her.
Yeah.
So somebody screamed, and Amy Jo Johnson said, nope, I'm
out of here.
And that was bad because Chuck Norris was a big draw for the convention, but her line was by far the longest both days. She was the one the majority of the people were there for.
Yeah. She was gone by 11.
Yeah, she was gone by 11. And by 11:30, there were people, security guards with wands, walking through the crowds in the main hall, wanding people and looking in bags.
Yeah, after that, they finally decided we should do security check.
Yeah.
So
and when we left that afternoon, they had tables set up outside the doors. And they were having people checking bags and stuff before you got in.
Oh my God, it was so funny.
Yeah, but it took Amy Jo Johnson leaving, and I'm pretty sure when they left, they were complaining about it.
Oh yeah.
And then they decided, well, yeah, maybe we ought to do something.
Yeah.
So we were very lucky that we got Amy Jo Johnson's signature, because there were a lot of people Sunday that did not.
Yeah.
A lot.
And after she left, all the lines got really long. And then the Blue Ranger, Yost, his line became one of the longest lines. And we're all like, well, yeah, the pink one's gone.
Yeah. And we sat and talked with him Saturday when we got his signatures, and he was really nice. He was the only one of all the people we did our signatures with that asked us what our names were. And actually addressed us by name. Yeah. I don't know. He's not going to remember us or anything like that. But he was taking a moment to make a connection with us. Yes. And everybody else was just like, oh, that's cool. Thanks. Whatever.
Yeah. Say, we know Johnny Young Bosch will do that stuff, but I think this convention was so big that he was just skipping over it. Yeah. Because you spoke to him. You spoke to him before. He connected with you.
Well, and we even talked to him about the Sailor Moon Monopoly, and he's like,
Yeah.
"Oh yeah." And then we talked to him, and I took your recommendation. I actually watched Code Geass. What'd you think of it? What did you think of the ending?
Yeah.
And that was the one thing he told me the last time I talked to him was, "You're gonna love that ending."
Yes.
So his first question to me when I said, "I finally took your recommendation. What did you think of that ending?"
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, "Oh, that's awesome." He's connecting back. That's probably something he says to everybody about
Yeah.
that series, but it's so nice that there was that consistency.
Yeah, and it was with excitement. He's like,
Yes.
you could tell that was one of his favorite
He
shows.
Gets excited about Code Geass, and that is amazing.
Yes.
So, yeah, I don't know that if he actually remembered us, because, I mean, our Sailor Moon Monopoly signed by JDF is definitely a conversation piece.
Yeah.
And when I handed it to him to have it signed last year, that's what prompted the conversation that we had.
Yeah.
Because he was so surprised that JDF had signed it. So when we pulled it out and showed it to him and was talking to him, he's like, "Oh, yeah, that's awesome." So, I mean, it's almost like he remembered it without necessarily saying, "Oh, my God, I remember you."
Yeah, he remembered it.
Yeah, he remembered it. But, I mean, it was still pretty cool. But I still think David Yost going, "So what's your name?"
Yeah.
"Brandon?" "Oh, that's cool. What's your name?" "Gary." "Oh, okay. Well, I'm Brandon. Gary, nice to meet y'all. Thank y'all for coming out. Thank you for supporting us."
Yeah.
"Hey, man, I appreciate your time. Brandon, Gary, y'all have a nice day."
Yeah.
I think that was awesome.
Fantastic.
He won't remember our names, today. I guarantee you he sees so many people and asks so many people their names, he doesn't remember them.
No, I wouldn't.
But I think it's awesome that he did it. Nobody else got to that level
Yeah.
of interest.
Well, Chuck Norris is so old.
He's 83, yeah.
We didn't get any more signatures after that. The lines were all so long.
They were
I didn't feel like
very
waiting
long.
anymore.
Yeah, and without our VIP passes, we were tired from the first day.
Yeah. And we woke up really early the next.
Yeah, but we spent a little bit of time, a fair amount of time that second day walking around, looking at all the booths, checking out the vendors, because we kind of looked on Saturday, but it was just kind of a quick browse.
Yeah.
We actually spent time and walked around and looked at them and found a lot of neat stuff that we bought.
Yeah, like our kind of 3D rotating posters.
I think they call them like 3D immersions or something like that.
Yeah. They're pretty neat. I got a One Piece one. It shifts between the three brothers and their mentor figures.
And I got Dragon Ball. It shifts between Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball Super.
No, Dragon Ball Z,
Su-
GT, and Super.
Okay, yeah.
We got one for Dylan for Hunter x Hunter.
And we got one for Ethan for Demon Slayer.
Yeah.
So, and they were really neat, and surprisingly, they weren't very expensive.
Yeah, you're right.
They are, what do we say, 19 by 13 or something like
Something
that.
like that.
So they're fairly large posters, and they have this really cool 3D effect. They're high quality, and it was 4 for $100.
Yeah.
Which isn't bad at all. You can go online and you can look up their different art and you can order stuff. And I want to say it's like $30, $35 to buy an individual through their website. So 4 for $100 wasn't a bad deal.
I think you probably saved like $50.
Probably. So that was kind of nice. They don't come with frames.
Yeah.
But I got on Amazon and found frames really, really easy.
We were lucky to get one with a frame.
Well,
only because it was the last one.
True. One of the ones we bought was the last one they had in stock, and it was their display. So he sold me the frame for it.
Yeah.
Pretty cheap too.
Yeah.
I mean, but they're all framed now, so that's pretty neat. I did order frames for the Broly poster.
Oh, yeah.
And the Vash poster.
Yeah. And both of those I bought for you and Jordan to get signed so they'd have it.
Yeah.
Jordan had his signed Broly.
Yeah, Jordan has a signed Broly, and then you bought me the Vash as a thank you for driving both days and everything.
Yeah.
So
it looks very cool. I almost kept it for myself, but I was like, nah, I need to thank him.
Yeah. So I've got frames coming for those.
What else all did we buy? I bought
lightsabers.
Yeah, you bought lightsabers. Big, heavy, thick lightsabers.
Yeah.
Are they still over there?
They're over by the display case.
Okay.
And I have posted photos of the handles to Facebook and Instagram. So if you're on our social media, you can see them. One of them is designed so that it is modeled after R2-D2, and the other one is modeled after C-3PO. Of course, these are unofficial, unlicensed lightsabers, so they can't claim that they're R2-D2 and C-3PO. But if you look at them, it's obvious.
And they look fantastic.
They are.
And they're metal.
They're high quality handles. The blades are high quality. They're supposed to be battle ready sabers, so the blades aren't supposed to break. Mm-hmm. So we can sit there and do lightsaber battles and bang and clang pretty good, and nothing. They're not supposed to break or anything like that, and they're rechargeable. So it's kind of nice. I've gotten them out and played with them a little bit. You bought a Snorlax onesie for your wife.
Yeah, she loved it. Probably one of the best things I brought home for her.
And then I bought some One Piece cards.
Yes.
So you bought some One Piece cards, but yours were Japanese.
Yeah, mine were in Japanese, which did not say so when I bought them. They said, yeah, get these One Piece cards. It's this one. Oh, cool. I really want to get them. Bought them. Well, it doesn't tell you what language they're in on Amazon, but they came into me from Japanese.
So we were there and they were selling them in English, so I bought a couple of boxes, got them home, opened them. One box had no value in it whatsoever. I was really disappointed with the value of that box. The other box, I pulled 2 alternate art cards that currently are valued at over $200 a piece.
Yeah, sad. I didn't get anything like over 50, if that. Yeah. I don't think I got anything over 20. Maybe one card.
Yeah, but those 2 cards paid for everything that those 2 boxes and then some.
Yeah, big sad because I didn't get shit, and I got mine from Japan.
I got mine from a trade show.
Yeah.
So that was kind of neat. I think I've got pictures of those posted out to social media. I think those got posted out already. What else did we get?
Did I get anything else? I think I did, maybe. I got my other One Piece figure to go with the one that was signed. We talked about that. I don't know what else I bought. Kick the cable. I don't know what else I bought. I think that was it for me.
Oh, let's see here. Lightsabers, 3D pictures, posters, One Piece cards. We bought those sleeves for from a group called Interlude.
We gave them card sleeves with anime panty and butt on it.
Yeah, anime booty.
So, booty.
That was pretty funny.
I think that's all we got.
I think that's mostly it.
I don't know what else I could have gotten, but I think that was it.
Well, you bought a poster the first day.
Yeah. I bought it. No, I got it with my signature.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, I paid $50. It gave me the poster and a signature, so that was pretty neat. Then I also learned the 2 posters I got for you that were up there. They were a gift that the
vendor had gifted to Johnny Young Bosch's table, so you bought them when you didn't have to.
Yeah. But they only had the 2 left up there anyway, so it's okay.
But it still worked out pretty good. So we've looked at conventions since we've come back, and there are so many conventions in Texas over the next couple of months. But some of them are just outrageously expensive. 3-day VIP pass, $400 a person.
Yeah.
Plus the signatures.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's not going to work.
And that's also, I think that's the one that's also while we're on our cruise.
No.
That's not the one that's while we're also on our cruise.
No, that's the big one that's in Austin in July, I think.
Oh, okay, yeah.
But that was the one where there were some people that were not of great interest to us. Mm-hmm. But their prices were sky high. I mean, there were some people that were charging more money than Chuck Norris.
Mm-hmm. And there was only one person we really wanted to get signed.
Yeah.
And it's the voice actress, Bulma. But not because she voiced Bulma.
Because she does ghost stories.
Yes. The lady who voices Bulma also does I think it's the Catholic chick in Ghost Stories.
Yes.
And God, that is one of my favorite shows.
And if you don't know anything about Ghost Stories, go find it. You can actually buy the English dub DVD on Amazon at a pretty decent price, but it's really hard to find streaming anywhere.
Yeah.
And it is downright hilarious. Explain to them why.
Okay, so in Japan, didn't do so well. Pretty bad. No one really watched it. So when it came over to America
10 years later.
Yeah, 10 years later to get dubbed, they were like, we don't care. Just stick to the plot. You can't change the demons' names or how they die or anything like that. Like, because, it's about ghost stories,
Yeah.
And they were like, but you could do and say whatever you want because it bombed. Well, they were like, okay. And they really did just say whatever they wanted.
It's pretty much ad-libbed.
Yeah, it's like they took the abridged things that you see on YouTube YouTube and all that and just said, yeah, we want to do that.
Yeah, so they gave them all very different characteristics because you've got a Jew, a hardcore Christian, a little kid that they call retarded, some horny fourth grader.
Yeah, and then there's just the main character. She's okay. She's kind of naggy, but like that's just kind of her thing.
Yeah, and they play it up, and it is hilarious.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
If you don't like raunchy comedy or you don't like people making fun of religions or things like that, then it may not be for you.
Yeah,
but if you're listening to this podcast, you probably don't care.
Yeah, they make fun of religions, political parties, race, color. They don't care.
Yeah.
It's everything under the sun, like South Park.
Yeah, if you watch South Park, check out Ghost Stories for sure. So, but yeah, we definitely want to get her to sign that.
But yeah, it's so worth it. I'm so glad I convinced my dad to watch it.
Yeah, that was one of the funniest things I've seen in a while. But really, that
That's
was it for this show. But yeah, if you're going to do a con, get your VIP pass, show up early. Those are the two big takeaways from this. Just understand that your passes just get you in the door. All your autographs are going to cost extra, and they're going to vary from celebrity to celebrity.
And bring cash.
And bring cash. There was an ATM there on site, so we kind of got lucky, although we didn't need it that first day, because when we came home, we could have got cash and went back. But take cash because some of them are cash only. But that'll probably be it for May. We've got graduations and stuff coming up at the end of the year. So we'll probably be back in a few weeks. We may not be back until after Flash and Spider-Verse.
Which one comes first? I think Spider-Verse is
I think
first.
Spider-Verse is first of the month, and Flash is mid-month.
Yeah.
But just with all the stuff we've got coming up with graduations and vacations and stuff like that, I don't know that we'll be able to be back before then.
Yeah.
So this may be the last you hear from us for about a month.
Yeah.
But if not, hey, we got lucky, right?
Yeah.
Until then, what are we going to close out with today?
It's morphin' time?
It's morphin' time. Meow.
No.
That's what it says. That's what he signed.
Oh, yeah.
It's morphing time. Meow.
Sorry, I'm...
Adam and Artemis.
Yeah.
It's morphing time. Meow.
Tommy's back. No, he's not. He's dead.
Sadly. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Nerd Shit. Be sure to follow us on Facebook at facebook.com/LordBradBrad to see when new episodes drop. Or you can find our channel on YouTube. Just search Lord Brad Brad and look for our logo. You can listen to all of your favorite episodes of Nerd Shit directly from our website, www.lordbradbrad.com, where you can also learn a little bit more about us and the products we use and reference on the show. If you enjoyed this episode and would like to donate to the show, we gladly accept donations at coffee.com/LordBradBrad. That's coffee, spelled ko-fi.com/LordBradBrad. Or you can just click the link at the bottom of our website. If you have any comments on anything discussed in this episode or would like to suggest a topic you would like to hear us talk about in a future episode, hit us up on our Facebook page. Again, that's facebook.com/LordBradBrad. Until next time, this is Riorik signing off and telling you to keep doing that nerd shit because you know we will.